2023 is on. With last few days left for CLAT, here's your chance to make every day count. BYJU'S Exam Prep, CLAT and Law brings to you back-to-back interactive lectures for your last-minute preparation. Last lap to CLAT 2023. Marathon sessions based on actual paper pattern. 7 days Maha revision sessions for CLAT and IELT. Paper solving tips. Every day at 11 a.m., 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. only on our YouTube channel. Do not forget to join us for detailed exam analysis and paper solution for IELT 2023 on 11th December and for CLAT 2023 on 18th December. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon to never miss an update.
Hi everyone, very good evening and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. Good evening everyone. Can you hear and see me very clearly? Even I'm back, Priya. Good to see you here. Very good evening everyone in the app. Hi Ritesh, is everything clearly audible and visible in the app as well as on the YouTube channel? Good evening everyone. We have yet another very important session today under our series Last Lap to CLAT. We're going to be discussing inferential, conclusion, indirect questions, the trickiest one of all. Yeah. Okay, so yes, I'm clearly audible and visible on app as well as hi Jay on our YouTube channel as well. ठीक है, तो आज क्लास में क्या करेंगे? ठीक है, सबसे पहले तो just a minute, here we go. ठीक है, before I tell you anything about what we're going to be doing in the class today, we have launched our test series. You can enroll yourself for this program if you wish to take more tests because you have barely 23 days left for the examination. Countdown start हो गया है. Test लेना बहुत जरूरी है आपके लिए. Make sure that you take a lot of tests if you wish to avail this program. The details are there under my video in the description box. अच्छा, अब देखो सेशन में क्या करने वाले हैं, सेशन क्यों जरूरी है, ये समझते हैं. Yes राजू, I'll try to speak in Hindi. I'll try to speak bilingually. ठीक है यार, हार्ट बीट धक धक नहीं कराना है बच्चे. The whole purpose of this class is आजाद. It's no one's birthday. Please do not spam. Okay? ठीक है, तो देखो ये जो धक धक हो रहा है ना हार्ट में, इसको कंट्रोल करने के लिए ही ये सेशन है. तो आज जो भी आप अभी करोगे मेरे साथ सेशन में, ये आपकी धक धक कंट्रोल करने के लिए. समझते हैं सेशन में करना क्या है? देखो, अगर आपने लास्ट मेरी क्लास अटेंड करी थी where we spoke about the main idea of the passage, the tone of the author and these popular questions, we also saw that these indirect and inferential questions have also started coming up a lot in the last 2-3 years. अगर आपने एनालिसिस देखी है तो ये जो indirect questions है, inferential questions है, conclusion based questions है, इनकी इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है और इनको सॉल्व करने का टेक्निक क्या है, ये दोनों चीजें हम कोशिश करेंगे मास्टर करने की. ओके, सो समीर, ये आज हम करने वाले हैं आज के सेशन में. So we'll learn the tips and tricks that are necessary to be able to solve these questions. अब एक जल्दी ओवरव्यू कर लेते हैं. देखो, for all those people जिन्होंने मेरी पिछली क्लासेस अटेंड नहीं करी, आपको पता है CLAT और ALET as well, ये predominantly RC based, reading comprehension based examinations हो चुके हैं और इनमें मैक्सिमम इंग्लिश का पोर्शन रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन को डिवोटेड होता है. ठीक है, और रफली आपके पास 6 पैसेजेस आते हैं क्लैट में. पर पैसेज 5 क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. सैंपल पेपर में वो नंबर रिड्यूस हो गया था, पर पैसेज क्वेश्चन इंक्रीज हो गया था. ऐसा भी हो सकता है एक्चुअल एग्जामिनेशन में. तो एक पहला सजेशन दैट आई वुड वांट टू मेक टू ऑल ऑफ यू, इफ यू सीन द सैंपल पेपर्स क्लियरली, यू वुड नो कि सैंपल पेपर्स में स्पेसिफिकली सेकंड वन में नंबर ऑफ पैसेजेस 6 से 5 हो गए, पर पैसेज 5 से 6 क्वेश्चंस हो गए. राइट, इससे क्या लेसन हम लर्न करते हैं? इससे हम सबसे पहला लेसन ये लर्न करते हैं जो कि मैंने बहुत साल पहले सीख लिया था, क्योंकि मैं 12 साल से क्लैट के लिए पढ़ा रही हूं और मैं हर बार रिपीट करती हूँ और आज भी आपको रिपीट करती हूँ. कंसोर्शियम पे ट्रस्ट नहीं करना है, क्योंकि कंसोर्शियम आपको किसी भी तरीके का पेपर दे सकता है. द लास्ट लैब सीरीज फोकसेस ऑन प्रिपेयरिंग यू फॉर एवरीथिंग. सो आपके लिए जो सजेशन है मेरा, एंड दैट इज, बच्चे देखिए आपस में बातें करेंगे तो मैं इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेजेस नहीं पढ़ पाऊंगी. आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू नॉट टू टॉक अमंगस्ट योरसेल्व्स. सो देयर आई नो कौन सा इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज है जिसका मुझे रिप्लाई करना। अभी आप लोग हरिओम से ही बात कर रहे हो और हरिओम आंसर ही नहीं कर रहा आप लोगों को, तो मुझसे बात करो, मैं आपको आंसर करूंगी, ये मेरी गारंटी है, ठीक है। आपस में बातें नहीं करनी है। अब मेरा सजेशन अबाउट कंसोर्शियम बीइंग वेरी वेरी अनप्रिडिक्टेबल, प्लीज शुरू के 2 मिनट स्पेयर करिए और देखिए पेपर में आया क्या है, व्हाट हैज कम इन द एक्चुअल पेपर। Remember this, I'll repeat this again and again. Please spare 2 minutes to skim through the paper, what exactly the pattern of the paper is, how many passages are there. अगर 6 से 5 passages आ गए, you have to read less and you can score more there. That means skimming through the paper is going to be supremely important for you, skimming through the entire paper. And a lot of people complain to me, ma'am, I'm unable to read all the 6 passages in that stipulated time. Why not read only 5 out of 6 and score maximum of them correctly? You're still going to be in a better position. You don't have to read all. The paper is only and only about solving it smartly, and smartness is in skimming through the paper once before you start this. These 2 minutes of skimming through the paper will save you good 20 minutes by the end. क्योंकि लास्ट में अगर ऐसा कुछ छूट गया जो आपको आता था, तो आप आके मुझसे बोलोगे कि मैम मेरे से ये गलती हो गई, ये सिली मिस्टेक हो गई। सिली मिस्टेक्स के हमारे पास में कोई स्कोप नहीं है। रिमेंबर माय सजेशन, 2 मिनट दो, स्किम थ्रू द पेपर, देखो क्या आया है, इज देयर अ सरप्राइज, क्या ग्रामर आ गया है इस बार, क्या स्टैटिक जीके आ गया है इस बार, क्या लॉजिकल रीजनिंग आ गया क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग के सेक्शन में। यू नीड टू नो दैट। कैसे पता लगेगा और किसको पहले सॉल्व करना है, कितना टाइम देना है ईच सेक्शन को, ये स्ट्रेटेजाइज पहले 2 मिनट में आपको कर लेना है। Okay, so smart work is very very necessary. Bhumi, we've started releasing the PDFs. 2 sets have already been released. You'll be getting that very very soon. Now, one suggestion, skim through the paper. ये बात याद रखना, नोट कर लो अभी भी, so that you don't forget it. जब भी मॉक्स ले रहे हो, याद रखना स्किम करना बहुत जरूरी है पेपर को। अब एक जनरल एनालिसिस हमने किया था, उसको जल्दी से स्किम कर लेते हैं। These were the topics जिससे पैसेजेस आए थे, और हम जो टॉपिक्स आज पैसेजेस में लेके आए हैं, जो लेके आते हैं हम, they are majorly on these topics only. So one is going to be on this today, one is going to be on this today, one is going to be on this today. We're going to be talking about these because a variety of reading is very very necessary. But there was another analysis that we did about this. What were the important sources? कहाँ से examination में आए थे? About the sources, I have recommended the PDFs that we have started releasing. 2 PDFs have already been released. We will make sure that the PDFs are released in your common Telegram group as well. The PDFs, remember, will be released in your Telegram group. All the people who do not know about the PDFs, these PDFs have various articles on important topics from various sources जहां से CLAT में passages आए हैं या आ सकते हैं। Sample paper के basis पे, previous paper के basis पे, we will be releasing 75 passages. The PDFs will have 5 passages each. हम 5 के स्लॉट में रिलीज करेंगे पीडीएफ। 2 पीडीएफ रिलीज हो चुका है आपके टेलीग्राम ग्रुप में, आज फिर से रीशेयर करवा दूंगी मैं बाय द टाइम दिस क्लास एंड्स। सो संजीत, अगर आप सुन रहे हैं बात, इसको प्लीज शेयर कर दीजिएगा। ओके, नाउ बैक टू इट। आई होप एवरीवन अंडरस्टैंड्स दैट। आपने अभी भी टेलीग्राम ग्रुप ज्वाइन नहीं किया है तो अंडर माय वीडियो डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में टेलीग्राम ग्रुप का लिंक है, उसको ज्वाइन कर लेना। ओके, अब so Anam, you're talking about how to improve reading speed. In today's session, I will not be talking about increasing reading speed, but I'll actually be talking about how to read smartly so that you can answer the inferential questions clearly. But I will have another session on how to read faster. So make sure you attend the classes very, very regularly. Now, let's go on. Sneha, these will be available in our Telegram group. If you guys have still not joined the Telegram group, please do that right now. अब देखो, in the last class we had discussed these 2 questions in detail. If you guys have not seen the first class that I had taken, these types of questions were already discussed. We are going to be discussing a lot of these questions today. How many of you now struggle with these questions? You see the number of questions we have seen in the last few years. They have been pretty much a lot. Specifically these inferential questions. Every year we get many of them. How many of you struggle with inference-based questions? Let me know that first, so that I know exactly who you are and how do I help you. नहीं समझ, वो नहीं हो सकता, फिर तो सारे आरसी बच्चे बहुत टाइम लगता है बनाने में। ठीक है, अब बताइए मुझे कितने लोग स्ट्रगल करते हैं अभी भी? सिमरला डज, प्रियंका सीआर बेस्ड assumptions में, ठीक है, ओके प्रिया। अदर्स, स्नेहा डज, Archita, Vinayak, Priyanka, Ashi. CR based a lot. Alifi, I'll see that. Yes. Yes, okay. Now there are a lot of kids who struggle with the CR based questions. So, what are we going to be doing in this session today? We'll analyze if you struggle with these questions and what should your approach be to get these questions correctly. These questions can come up, of course, in the English section as well as the CR section. So, ये दोनों के लिए आपके लिए beneficial होगा. अब जो लोगों ने नहीं आंसर किया कि मैं स्ट्रगल नहीं करता हूं, ऐसा सोचा, एक बार फिर से क्रॉस चेक करते हैं. आर यू प्रिपेयर्ड इनफ टू आंसर दीज इन्फरेंशियल इनडायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस क्लियरली? एक दो क्वेश्चंस अपने माइंड में आंसर करिए. आर यू कंफर्टेबल सॉल्विंग इनडायरेक्ट इन्फरेंशियल क्वेश्चंस? अपने मन में यस और नो आंसर करो. आर यू एबल टू रीड बिटवीन द लाइन्स? रीडिंग बिटवीन द लाइन्स क्या होता है? अगर ऑथर ने एक लाइन लिखी है तो उसका कोई और मतलब आप हैंड टू हैंड पढ़ते ही निकाल सकते हो क्या? I'll repeat that in English. If you're reading a passage, can you hand to hand make inferences in your mind while you're reading a passage? If you've answered any of the questions as you struggle with it and you're not able to read between the lines, then you certainly need today's session. So remember, it's saved on our channel. You'll have to find out our series under the last lap to CLAT. So if any of the questions, if you think you are struggling with any of these two, this is the session you need to focus. Now, I have 3 passages today, okay? But in 3 passages I'll be taking only 2 and understand my methodology that I'm going to be following today. The first passage that I give you, I'll ask you to do it as a test. I'll ask you to solve it. Almost every question is inferential there. I'll give you ample of time to read the passage. I'll ask you to answer the questions and I'll tell you what the correct answers are. And in the second passage, I'll tell you how you should read a passage. I'll read the passage with you after the warm-up exercise we have done. I'll read the passage with you and I'll tell you exactly how you should have read between the lines. उस पैसेज की कौन कौन सी लाइंस पे फोकस करना था और उसमें रीडिंग बिटवीन द लाइंस कैसे करनी थी जिससे आपके लिए इन्फरेंशियल क्वेश्चंस आंसर करना डिफिकल्ट नहीं होगा. तो ये 2 पैसेज आज हम इस तरीके से सॉल्व करेंगे. Are you ready for the first warm-up exercise, everyone? It's going to be a test for you. Ready, everyone? Let me have a sip of water. तो चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं. डिफिकल्ट है आज के पैसेजेस, बिल्कुल डिफिकल्ट हैं, क्वेश्चंस डिफिकल्ट हैं, बहुत मजा आएगा. Here you go with the first passage, everyone. Here you go. Here. Read the first page and send me a done, everyone. Sherlock Holmes, have fun. Do you, Priya? You're going to rock here. I'm going to make the torso a little shorter. Here you go. Changing the slide, everyone. Changing the slide. Changing the slide. Often, Sneha, pretty often. Next page. प्रियंका, आज पैसेजेस डिफिकल्ट हैं. Changing the slide, everyone. Priya, research. Okay, I hope you guys are done. A lot of you finding it very difficult. I'll give you a little hint. Although this was supposed to be a test, but you know, my heart cannot bear the sight of you getting disturbed with the passage and you not being able to find the main idea. क्या सिखाया था मैंने? फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ, लास्ट पैराग्राफ एक बार ध्यान से समझ लो, वो आपको मेन आइडिया निकालने में हेल्प करेगा. मेन आइडिया बहुत सारे और क्वेश्चंस आंसर करता है ना? तो एक बार पैसेज का फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ, लास्ट पैराग्राफ फिर से एक बार देख लेते हैं, तो ओवरऑल जिस्ट मिल जाएगा. फिर हम क्वेश्चंस आंसर करेंगे. ठीक है, जल्दी से एक बार फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ देख लो, क्विकली स्किम थ्रू इट. ठीक है, लास्ट पैराग्राफ बहुत ध्यान से पढ़ लेना एक बार लास्ट पैराग्राफ को. You'll know what exactly has been discussed in the passage. ठीक है, okay. I will not tell you anything about what the passage is, about what is the tone, कहाँ inference draw करते हैं, because it is only a warm up. Remember, the agenda of the class is not to in any way threaten you कि difficult passages आएंगे, आपको नहीं आता, नहीं. Purpose क्या है पैसेज का, आप कर सकते हो, लेकिन सबसे पहले ये पता होना चाहिए आप कहाँ स्टैंड करते हो, फिर वहां से हमको कैसे करना है. तो ये पता लगाने के लिए कि हम कहाँ स्टैंड करते हैं और कैसे करना है नेक्स्ट पैसेज में बताऊंगी. स्टिक विथ मी. अब जल्दी से एक बार ये क्वेश्चन आंसर करो. ऑल द बेस्ट एवरीवन. बहुत आसान है. क्या आंसर है ऐप में? प्रियंका, स्नेहा, आशी, अक्षय, कुसुमा, प्रतीक, रितेश. ए, ओके, ए, बी, अच्छा ये आंसर सिर्फ उसी का करेक्ट होगा जिसने who read between the lines, जिसने थोड़ा ध्यान से प्रोसेस किया. ठीक है, मैक्सिमम ऑफ यूर आंसरिंग ए. विजया says B, but others I think maximum of you are answering A. A couple of you are also answering B. देखो पैसेज आर्थर कॉनन डॉयल के बारे में है. You've understood that. Who is he? The writer of Sherlock Holmes. एक बार वापस फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ में जाते हैं. ठीक है, मैं आपको फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ और लास्ट पैराग्राफ में पर्पसफुली लेके गई थी. बहुत सारी स्टोरीज लिखी आर्थर कॉनन डॉयल ने. ऑफ कोर्स शर्लॉक होम्स की जो स्टोरीज लिखी वो बेस्ट थी. ठीक है, और ये जो कैरेक्टर्स है वो कहीं ना कहीं उनके एक्सपीरियंस से रिलेटेड है. जो शर्लॉक होम्स का कैरेक्टर उन्होंने बनाया, दिस कैरेक्टर इज रिलेटेड टू समथिंग और द अदर Arthur Conan Doyle has come across, his own life, people he has met. Okay, yahan hai. If you continue with the passage, we see one example, who had influential powers over Arthur Conan Doyle. This whole paragraph says Arthur Conan Doyle actually was fearing plagiarism. उनको डर था कि लोग बोलेंगे आर्थर कॉनन डॉयल आप प्लेजरिस्ट हैं क्योंकि आपने एडगर एलन पो के एक कैरेक्टर को कॉपी किया है अपनी बुक्स में. इसका मतलब आर्थर कॉनन डॉयल इन्फ्लुएंस से इनकी राइटिंग स्टाइल से. अगला पैराग्राफ में देखते हैं. सिमिलरली यू हैव इट हियर. रॉबर्ट लुइस was another clear influence on Conan Doyle. मतलब Conan Doyle और एक राइटर से इन्फ्लुएंस थे. Agreed everyone? अच्छा, अब चैतन्य बिल्कुल बी में श्योर हो गया. ठीक है, so again Arthur Conan Doyle was influenced with another writer. Now let's go back to the question. Most of you who have marked A, Arthur Conan Doyle's detective Sherlock Holmes. Did this detective inspire many authors, or was Arthur Conan Doyle himself was inspired by people, authors, characters? ये Sherlock Holmes characters कहाँ से आया? Imagination था या वो अपने प्रोफेसर को अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ से, बहुत सारे ऑथर्स से सीख रहे थे? अब आंसर क्या है? Is it A or is it B? Chaitanya, it depends a lot on where do you stand, what homework have you done already. Now you guys know it is not A, it has to be B. Sherlock Holmes did not inspire other people, rather this whole character, this whole series of stories, these were inspired by many people, many authors. Okay, so it's going to be B for now. Some of you had marked D. Conan Doyle was deeply religious and spiritual person who believed in divine retribution. You know what is divine retribution? पहले हिंदी में समझाती हूँ. ऊपर वाला जिस भी आप गॉड को मानते हो वो दुनिया खत्म कर देगा अगर आप उनके हिसाब से नहीं चलोगे तो. कहाँ लिखा है कहानी में divine retribution? Divine retribution is God's way of punishing the people who live on this system, the earth, if you don't follow what God says. Where is this mentioned that Conan Doyle was a believer of divine retribution? Nowhere. Too much to assume. The only line that was written about his spiritualism was the first paragraph that he became spiritual. But did he believe in all this? Too much to infer. Don't think beyond the passage. He is absolutely wrong. Okay? Now, yeah, that's God's wrath. Exactly, Nikhil. Question number 2. I'll not explain the answers. Quickly answer this because I need to explain how to read. How to read between the lines, how to infer. Is question ko answer karo. Exactly, Sneha. Plus his own, the other characters that he had written. Yes, Sneha. B. C. Shabash. सारे random answers. A, B, C, D, all. मतलब नहीं किया इन्फर आप लोगों ने while you were reading. एक बात बताओ, how many of you were just reading it for the sake of reading it? चलो पैसेज आ गया है, लास्ट लैब अटेंड करना है, पैसेज आ गया है तो पढ़ लो इसको. ऐसे कितने लोगों ने, ऑनेस्टली बताओ मुझे, ऐसे कितने लोगों ने पढ़ा इसको? पैसेज आ गया है तो पढ़ना है. It's there, so I have to read it. I just read it mindlessly because it's there on the screen and there's a clock ticking because ma'am is going to change the slide, so I have to read this passage. I have all the answers in the options. We certainly are not in the right direction, not in the right track. A lot of you. App mein, everyone read mindfully? Okay. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage except which one? So again, the question says which of the following cannot be inferred. It's D. Conan Doyle was an ascetic scientist sleuth who gave pleasure to millions. Okay. Conan gave pleasure to millions or his own character Sherlock Holmes did? Please answer this carefully. Nirmal, you're getting it correct. The question is which of the following cannot be inferred? Is my video lagging? Sherlock Holmes did. Holmes gave pleasure. Not Conan Doyle. Conan Doyle was not a detective. A sleuth is a detective. Conan Doyle was not a detective. Sherlock Holmes was. It's a simple question. If you've read any extract on Sherlock Holmes or Conan Doyle, क्योंकि वो बहुत बार आ चुके हैं पास्ट में, ये क्वेश्चन आपको आंसर करना आना चाहिए था. Questions are easy. Next question, everyone. Do you want me to take you back to this line? I'll take you back. Here. Read this extract, then I'll show you the options again. Yes, Vijaya. Let's check out the options now. Very, very easy. Extract दिखा दिया, अब गलत नहीं होना चाहिए. Here is your question. Very easy. If you've read between the lines in the extract that I took you back to, you would get this correct. A, B. I am glad. बट ये इन्फरेंस तो तभी ड्रॉ कर लेना चाहिए था ना. बट देखो, जब ऐसा एक्सट्रैक्ट आता है ना, ऑलवेज रेफर बैक a lot if you're getting it correct. The correct answer has to be an A. Okay? अब देखो, I'll give you an insight on कैसे इन्फरेंस ड्रॉ किया था. एक बार वापस एक्सट्रैक्ट पे चलते हैं. What is option A says? Conan Doyle wanted to pursue serious literature which was hampered by Sherlock Holmes stories. Conan Doyle wrote Sherlock Holmes. Conan Doyle also wanted to write more things. But because of the popularity of Sherlock Holmes and how he could link to this character, he could not pursue his serious desire to write more literature, literary articles, literary pieces. When you went back to the extract, I'll show you that and I'll teach you exactly कैसे inference करना चाहिए था. Yeah. So, Conan Doyle's life nevertheless remained Sherlock Holmes. That is, throughout his life, he probably wrote mostly about Sherlock Holmes, something or the other related to it. The detective, that is Sherlock Holmes, it distracted Conan Doyle from serious literature. He wanted to write this, but it distracted him from serious literature. He did not write serious literature. He only wrote detective stories on Sherlock, and he grew to resent his creation. He grew to hate what he wrote. What he wrote in literature, he started hating it. Eventually, he wrote only and only about Sherlock Holmes, and that's what he's known for today. That is what the line means here. If you've understood what the line means, you would get this answer correct. So, it was that he wanted to pursue literature, but this literature, of course, he hated it because it was not even good enough to be published. Okay? Yes, Azad, it's going to be A. Now, I have a question. How can we remember such unfamiliar names which is given in the passage? I'm not able to. Anadi, I have a way to help you. When you read an extract that has a lot of foreigner names that you are not comfortable with because we don't hear these names commonly with the people around us, always try to make a picture of that character in your mind. So when you see Conan Doyle, probably think of, he looks good to me, still buffering. Of course, Akshay, but उससे स्टोरी बनानी पड़ेगी आपको. अब ठीक है. भाई ठीक है कि नहीं है? Now okay, चलो ठीक है. Let's continue. I don't know what happened. Let's continue. ठीक है? Here we go. Question number 14. Here you go. I will not take you back to the last paragraph. Answer this on your own. दिखाऊं last paragraph एक बार फिर से? जल्दी से देख लो. Last paragraph से क्या conclusion draw किया है? Here we go. Last paragraph is this one. Question. A, A, आइडेंटिकल है, बिल्कुल सेम है, शाबाश। ऑप्शन बी प्रियंका। आई थिंक क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस कंटिन्यू करने की जगह I think I should tell you how to read a passage carefully. Even after taking you back to an extract, you're making such a silly mistake. Since book is identical to Andrew Lyce's book is, ये दोनों same हैं. Let's go back to the extract. Andrew Lyce in his similarly entitled book says Arthur and Sherlock remains an absorbing tribute to the world's greatest investigator, that is Sherlock Holmes, and his troubled maker Arthur Conan Doyle, who is troubled. Guys, I am not giving you any more questions from this passage. You guys are making supremely silly mistakes. What I'm going to do now is, let us, both of us, I mean you guys and I, let's read a new passage together. Okay? And let's see कैसे infer करते हैं, कैसे एक लाइन को प्रोसेस करके we read between the lines. करें everyone? ये कोशिश करते हैं. इस जो टेक्निक मैं आपको सिखाऊंगी, ये टेक्निक आपको अप्लाई करनी है. Why Alifia? Why Simrela? Why Ram? एग्जाम में तो नहीं कर सकते हो ना आप ऐसा. These are silly stupid mistakes. ठीक है, एक पैसेज पढ़ते हैं साथ में, समझते हैं कैसे इन्फर करते हैं. ओके, हियर वी गो. चलो, read the first page everyone very carefully. फिर एक एक लाइन साथ में पढ़ेंगे, देखेंगे कौन सी लाइन पे फोकस करना नेसेसरी है, कौन सी लाइन में कैसे वी रीड बिटवीन द लाइन्स. ओके, everyone be very attentive here. It says hunting, scientific experimentation, entertainment, keeping of pets, farming, fishing. Animals की बात हो रही है शायद. Pets है, farming है, fishing है, habit and destruction. There is no one story about the way humans use animals and cause them to suffer. Can we infer from this line that the author thinks humans are responsible for the bad condition animals are in? Yes or no? Can we infer that humans, according to the author, humans are at least partly responsible for the bad condition animals are in? Yes, that's one inference. That is how we read between the lines. That's the first inference we drew here. Okay, next. What could be the reasons? It could be for our own entertainment, like zoo or circus, or keeping pets but not taking care of them, or farming, or probably, you know, incubation of eggs and not treating the pets carefully. All of these are why the animals are suffering. So far, UN reported this week our collective efforts to protect wildlife globally have not succeeded. Can I say that UN probably is acting like an agency to provide us with concrete answers of where the wildlife stands? I'll repeat. Can I say UN here is acting like an agency to tell people the condition, the severity of animals? Yes or no? Absolutely yes, because it generated a report and it was suggested that we have not been successful in protecting our wildlife. Yes, that's how you read between the lines. All 20 of the Aichi biodiversity target agreed in Japan a decade ago have been missed. Can I say 10 years back there was a target that was set to protect wildlife animals, to protect animals. 10 years ago, a target was set to protect animals. 10 years ago, a target was set to protect animals. Yes, we have not been able to achieve that target. That's what this line says. Okay. What did we do here? Do you see? We read one line and we figure out इस लाइन का और मतलब क्या हो सकता है. अगर ये लाइन बोली तो और क्या मतलब निकल सकता है. What else? I'll write this down here if you're making notes. What else could a line mean is exactly what is reading between the lines. Okay? Now, while we are reading simultaneously together, we are reading between the lines, we're inferring. We'll see if you can answer this passage and questions correctly. This might look like an easier passage to you. Trust me, it is not. The questions certainly are not. Now, the moment the author says but, by this time we know we have missed our target. But a gloomy big picture must not blind us to smarter positive changes. Can I say, with us missing the deadline, there are some good parts that we have achieved pertaining to animals? Yes or no? I will repeat this. We've missed the deadline. फिर भी कुछ अच्छी चीजें हैं जो हमने अचीव करी हैं. Yes or no? Absolutely yes. तो हो सकता है ये पूरा पैराग्राफ उन अच्छी चीजों के बारे में है. देखते हैं. In January, wild animals in circuses became illegal. अच्छी चीज है. डेडलाइन तो मिस कर दी. वो 10 साल पहले की जो डेडलाइन थी ना, वो तो मिस कर दी. We've missed it. But see good things. Animals in circuses illegal in Britain. देखो. Last month, the use of glue traps for catch birds also was banned in France. Historically, the UK has played an important part in the development of laws protecting animals. Can I say probably UK holds a better position probably than most of the other countries in terms of protecting their animals? Yes, the author is getting optimistic here. Exactly, Vinayak. He is doing that. Very good. That's how you analyze it. Yes, probably UK is in a better position. Yeah, you can. If you've understood the first line, Diya, you can skip the remaining parts. Probably UK is in a better position than a lot of other countries are in. Next paragraph pe chalte hain. Along with Sweden, UK led the way for welfare rules in Europe with an influential report setting out 5 freedoms. Who set out 5 freedom for animals? UK did. Strengthens our argument of the fact that UK is in a better position to protect its animals than probably a lot of other countries are in. UK ने rule बनाया. क्या rule बनाया? 5 freedoms for animals. What are these rules? Space to turn around, space to lie down. For animals, they need space to stand up, stretch and groom. These were the 5 spaces they were ensured in UK. बहुत सारा सपोर्ट में आ गया है ऑथर यूके के. Probably UK actually is in a better position than a lot of other countries are in. Having been made law in the UK in 1990, a ban on rearing wheeled calves in crates became EU-wide. European Union wide in 2006. मतलब, can I infer what UK did in terms of protecting its animals was partly or fully followed by the entire European Union? Can I say that? I'll repeat. Can I say that what UK did is partly or fully followed by the entire European Union? Yes. Looks like the author's tone is moving towards a positive one. It was followed by a ban on crates for pregnant sows as well. Good things happening. But जब एक good के बाद yet लिखा होता है तो क्या आता है उसके बाद? उसके बाद आता है negative. When I have a contradictory conjunction, I know something opposite is going to be mentioned. All this is good happening from the perspective of UK and the entire European Union. Yet, this record, of which many British people are rightly proud of, is now in danger. Can I say, can I infer UK probably has missed out on a lot of things while trying to protect their animals. Can I say that? UK possibly has missed a lot of things while they were trying to protect its animals. It's a counter argument. Yeah, absolutely, yes. UK ने कुछ चीजें मिस कर दी हैं. UK residents were very proud of their standards that they had created for protecting their animals, but possibly they've missed out on something. Despite committing in their 2019 manifesto to uphold the UK's environmental, animal, food standards, conservative ministers are now refusing. So they did something to control their animals, but now the ministers are now refusing to rule out allowing imports from countries, including the US, that have no federal animal welfare standards at all. Can I say UK is importing animals from other countries? Yes or no? Can I say UK is importing animals from other countries? Yes, it is. Can I say US rates lower than UK in terms of its animal standards? UK rates higher than US in terms of animal standards. Okay, Vibhuti, I'll try if time permits. Absolutely, yes. The last line is a pure criticism to US. Says कोई standard नहीं तुम्हारे पास animal को protect करने का. फिर भी तुम US से import कर रहे हो. This whole paragraph is a criticism to UK कि आप उन countries से import कर रहे हो animals जिनमें कोई standard follow नहीं होता उनको protect करने का. तो आपके double standards हो गए. एक तो आप खुद को protection पे focus कर रहे हो, but आप import कर रहे हो उन सारे कंट्रीज से जो कि एनिमल स्टैंडर्ड्स को नहीं फॉलो करते हैं. इट्स अ क्रिटिसिज्म टू यूके. ओके, एब्सोल्युटली यस शिवम. चलो लेट्स मूव ऑन, नेक्स्ट पेज पे चलते हैं. Instead of a ban on meat or dairy produced under conditions that would be illegal here where UK. For example, कुछ चीजें permissible नहीं है UK में, ठीक है, yet there are other countries जहां वो permissible हैं. The government proposes a dual tariff system under which goods that don't meet domestic standards would be charged more on entry. Can I infer that countries from where animals are being imported, if those countries do not follow the standards UK is setting, UK is going to charge more import duty on those animals? Yes or no? Hariom, you could. Yes. Can I say if animals are being imported into UK from those countries where there are no standards or lower standards, can I say UK is charging more import duty on those animals? Yes, Alifia, I can. It says you would be charged more on entry. I'll repeat the line. अगर आपकी कंट्री वो स्टैंडर्ड फॉलो नहीं करती है तो इंस्टेड ऑफ बैनिंग एंड इंपोर्ट ऑफ एनिमल्स फ्रॉम दैट कंट्री यूके कहता है मैं ज्यादा पैसा चार्ज कर लूंगा लेकिन आने दूंगा मेरे कंट्री में वो एनिमल्स. दैट्स देयर डुअल स्टैंडर्ड. एज अ कंट्री दैट प्रमोट्स प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ एनिमल्स दे शुड हैव बैंड, राइट, they should have banned the import of those animals from those countries जहां स्टैंडर्ड मेंटेन नहीं होता था. बट बैन करने की जगह उन्होंने इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी बढ़ा दी. आने दो लेकिन ज्यादा पैसा लेके आने दो. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. So far, chlorine wash chicken has been the main bone of contention. Bone of contention क्या होता है? नहीं बताऊंगी, क्वेश्चन है. So far, chlorine wash chicken has been a bone of contention in the debate over the. अब देखो क्लोरीन यूज हो रहा है चिकन वॉश करने के लिए तो ऑब्वियसली दैट्स हार्मफुल. इस पे ज्यादा डिबेट हो रही है. The safety concerns surrounding the use of chlorine as well as antibiotics, hormone routinely fed to US farm animals to promote growth, the GM ingredients, all serious issues. इसका मतलब बहुत सारे सीरियस इश्यूज हैं जो अदरवाइज यूके में बैन है, जो यूएस अलाउ कर रहा है लेकिन हम यूएस से इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं अभी भी एनिमल्स. If you're still importing animals, these show your double standards. You're doing nothing to protect animals. अपने country में law बनाना will not be enough. You have to ban the importing of animals from other countries like US who are violating the laws made by you. Dilution of hard-won protections against food poisoning and other health effects and an increased risk of environment damage. It is not what the majority of Brexit supporters thought they were voting for when they chose to leave the EU. What? Now the question goes to you. What can you infer from this line? I've highlighted this line. What can you infer from this line? I've spoken so much. I'll have a sip of water by then and you tell me, ये Brexit supporters ने ऐसा क्या चीज के लिए वोट किया था? शुभम पैसेज इंटरेस्टिंग है नहीं, बना दिया है मैंने, ऐसे पढ़ना है आपको. यू हैव टू फॉल इन लव विथ रीडिंग. क्या इन्फर कर सकते हो इधर बताओ? टू लीव EU? यस निखिल. निखिल तुम दोनों साइड से अटेंड कर रहे हो क्लास, फ्रॉम द ऐप एज वेल एज यूट्यूब. कंटिन्यूइंग डिसएग्रीमेंट ओवर एनी इशू that the Brexit supporters thought the UK would try to bring down environmental damage. On the contrary, they did not. Good, Ashi. Very good. Yes, exactly. So, it was, of course, about Britain's exit from the European Union. But while they were exiting from the European Union, they thought that UK is going to continue supporting protection of animals. This is not what's happening with the governance that they have right now. Exactly. Melinda, food standards and all other things related to environment and animals. Absolutely correct. Okay. Sahil says UK will have to follow to other countries. Vijaya says they supported strict rules against food poisoning. They did. Now they do not, Vijaya. Sahil says British people had certain expectations with regard to food standards and protection and were told the same. Very good, Sahil. Exactly. I'll repeat what Sahil has written. Sahil in the app says British people, the citizens, while they had voted for Britain's exit from the European Union, they had certain expectations with regard to food standards, protection of the animals, and they would promise this, but the promise was not fulfilled. This is not what they had expected. I will not read. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, Simrala, you're right. But animal welfare is also an important factor. Only food security, food protection, food standards? No. Not only that, but protecting animals and their own welfare. So, ये 5 rights थे animals के, space to move, space to turn, space to groom, ये सब animal welfare के अंदर आते हैं. Animal welfare is also an important factor. So, the regulatory framework governing the treatment of workers, इसका मतलब सिर्फ environment नहीं, it's animal welfare, workers who work for animals, all of these are interconnected aspects that are important, not merely your food security. While it must not be assumed that the giant animal factories in which US meet, can I say the author has a negative connotation about US? And while he says European Union, he's majorly targeting, or while he says other countries, he's majorly targeting the US. Can I infer this? It's majorly a target on US violating all these laws UK had made for its own self. It is, yeah. It's majorly a criticism to US and a criticism to UK still importing a lot from US. उनको प्रॉब्लम इन दोनों चीजों से है मेजरली. तो बार बार यूरोपियन यूनियन लिखा जा रहा है, बाकी कंट्रीज लिखा जा रहा है, बट उनको प्रॉब्लम है यूके कॉन्स्टेंटली यूएस से इंपोर्ट कर रहा है और यूएस फ्लाउट कर रहा है इतने सारे नॉर्म्स को. ये है बेसिक प्रॉब्लम. ओके, चलो आगे देखते हैं. सो यूएस में फैक्ट्री बना दी है मीट प्रोडक्शन की. They have lower hygiene, other standards, the standards are smaller or European farm. Many experts believe that huge number of animals kept in close proximity represent a health hazard to humans as well as causing suffering for both animals and workers. Can I say the author is focusing on animal rearing, healthy animal rearing, as well as associated factors with it like workers, animals, consumers, all. Can I say that? Can I infer the author is focusing not merely on the welfare of animals but also the associated factors with it, like workers? Yes, yes, yes. अच्छा देखो, अभी तक हमने क्या किया? Before I show you the last paragraph here, what am I trying to teach you here is, while you read a passage, you have to process things in your own head. You can't just merely go on and on and on reading a passage blindly. When you read that, please process information in your own head. Answer करो, अच्छा इसका मतलब ये भी हो सकता है, इसका मतलब ये भी हो सकता है. The author can also mean this while he writes this. Keep inferring things on your own, and that's only when you'll get the inferential questions correct. Most of the questions that are based on indirect answers or inference, you cannot go back to the passage for finding their answers. They're hidden. You can't find the answers by referring back again and again. And that's how you read between the lines. Am I making sense, everyone? We would answer the questions that pertain to this passage, but I want you to practice this methodology on and on. Tonight, after this class, please solve at least 5 passages with the same methodology. Tomorrow morning, again, 5 more. Exactly. You try to rephrase each sentence in your own head. What else could it mean is what we try to find. Okay? Akshay, practice will not lead you to running out of time. You need to practice. Exactly, Nikhil, he is. आपको practice करनी है. Practice करोगे तो you will not take a lot of time doing this. Okay? Last paragraph देखते हैं. There is no call for starry eyes. Current standards leave much to be desired. That means the current standards are poor. We need a lot of change. And European Union inquiry into the flouting of livestock transport laws were announced in June. The shocking extent of poverty in the UK after 10 years of austerity and in the middle of a pandemic means the food prices rises are serious. That means the author is concerned about animals, is concerned about the food prices as well. But while this might make the prospect of cheaper food tempting, deregulation is not the answer. What is deregulation? This is an important aspect because if you don't know this, you might not be able to infer anything here. What is deregulation? Yes, Priyanka, I will. Yes, Parheen, this is possible. अच्छा, all those people who think this is going to take up a lot of time, मैं आपको समझा रही हूँ, this is time consuming because of that. Class के बाद 5 passages solve करो and tell me if you were able to do it in the equal amount of time or possibly lesser. Yes, it's basically lifting a ban. Deregulation is lifting a ban. Okay? So, regulations hata dena. Deregulations. Regulations are laws, bans. But while this might make the prospect of cheaper food tempting, deregulation is not the answer. Ban hatana, import kar lo baki countries se, that's not the answer. Instead, we must keep fighting for a food system that balances human needs, tastes with values. Iska matlab, rare animals follow your own rules. Removing the rules because we want cheaper food and mass production like US does, that's not the answer. Did you understand this line, everyone? Exactly. Yes, Belinda. Correct. That's deregulation. So, now let's go on. Kusuma, they are there in our app. There are many passages there in our app. You can find them there. Okay. Here you go. Question number 1. What's your answer? Don't Google. I know you can answer this. Break the words into different parts. You will find your answer. Yes, Ram. Rule hata dena. Don't Google. You can answer this. Like eco, anthropo, bio, euro. Break करो, answer मिलेगा. क्या बात है सिजान? C, A, C. अच्छा, क्वेश्चन समझो. देखो ऐप में क्या आया है? ऑप्शन बी, A, B, D. Okay. Easy है ये क्वेश्चन, काफी easy है. The author's view that import should be based on animal welfare. The author has criticized UK for importing animals from the US majorly because US is flouting norms of animal protection. Okay, so when the author says import should be based not on animal and violation of their rules, violation of their rights, but protection of their rights. What is the point of view of the author? Is the author focusing on centricism is focusing on one point? Is the author focusing on Europe only? Anthropo is mankind, humans. Is the author focusing on the importance of humans? When he says put a ban on importing animals from those countries जो नहीं protect करते अपने animals को, क्या वो सिर्फ humans पे focus कर रहा है? Absolutely not. क्या वो ecology पे focus कर रहा है? क्या वो bio that is life पे focus कर रहा है? या क्या वो सिर्फ यूरोप पे focus कर रहा है? अब फिर से बताइए ध्यान से. एंथ्रोपो तो एब्सोल्युटली गलत है, बिकॉज वो ह्यूमंस पे फोकस नहीं कर रहा जब वो ये बोल रहा ऑथर कि बैन कर दो उन कंट्री से एनिमल्स मंगाना जहां एनिमल के वेलफेयर को वायलेट किया जाता है. ठीक है, अब हमारे पास दो चॉइसेस हैं. देखो, सर्टेनली वो कंप्लीटली यूरोप पे भी फोकस नहीं कर रहा, क्योंकि वो यूरोप के बाहर से भी इंपोर्ट हो सकता है एनिमल्स. अब दो चॉइसेस है बहुत ट्रिकी, इको और बायो. कैसे आंसर निकालेंगे? इकोलॉजी होती है इंटर रिलेटेड फैक्टर्स, जैसे आपने इस एनिमल को खाया, इसने किसी और को खाया, इसने किसी और को खाया, दिस साइकिल, दैट इज इकोलॉजी. बायो इज एवरीथिंग दैट रिवॉल्व्स अराउंड लाइफ. सो लाइफ एनिमल्स की, वर्कर्स की, कंज्यूमर्स की, सिटीजन्स की, ये सब इंटरकनेक्टेड है. तो जब वो बैन करते हैं इंपोर्ट करना एनिमल्स को बाकी कंट्रीज से, आप बहुत सारी चीजों पे काम करते हैं, स्पेसिफिकली लाइफ ऑफ एनिमल्स पे, लाइफ ऑफ योर ओन सिटीजन्स पे, लाइफ ऑफ वर्कर्स पे, इन सब की लाइफ प्रोटेक्ट होती है. द करेक्ट, या दैट्स अ फूड चेन, राइट? सो करेक्ट आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी अ सी. ओके, गॉट दैट एवरीवन? निखिल, आया समझ में? डिड यू गेट इट नाउ? नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन एवरीवन. Which of the following can be inferred? You should get this correct. Very, very easy. Unanimous answer आना चाहिए सबका. इतना अच्छे से पढ़ा है पैसे जी, सबका करेक्ट होना चाहिए. ओके, डी ए यूएस फोर फ्रंट पे है कि यूके है? यूएस को तो इतना क्रिटिसाइज किया, अटरली डिस्कार्ड कर दिया कि यूएस तो सबसे ज्यादा फ्लाउट कर रहा है नॉर्म्स. यूके इज एट द फोर फ्रंट, यूएस इज नॉट. ये गलत है बच्चे. आंसर बिल्कुल सही है, मोस्टली लोगों ने गेस किया. इट हैज टू बी अ डी. डीरेगुलेशन ऑफ एनिमल वेलफेयर. डीरेगुलेशन मैंने आपको समझाया था, क्या? लॉज हटा देना. इंपोर्ट करो, धड़ाधड़ इंपोर्ट करो जितने करने हैं इंपोर्ट. डीरेगुलेशन ऑफ एनिमल वेलफेयर लॉज एंड फूड प्राइसेस आर कनेक्टेड. ऑफ कोर्स कनेक्टेड है. जैसे ही डीरेगुलेशन करोगे, लॉज हटा दोगे, इंपोर्ट करना चालू कर दोगे, अपने ही कंट्रीज के लॉ हटा दोगे, तो एनिमल के राइट्स खत्म हो जाएंगे और मास प्रोडक्शन ऑफ एनिमल चालू हो जाएगा. प्रोडक्शन एक्चुअली हो जाएगा एनिमल्स का, तो फूड के प्राइस तो घट जाएंगे. बट इनमें एनिमल्स के राइट्स का क्या हुआ? उनके लाइफ का क्या हुआ? Of course, these are interconnected. क्योंकि अभी फूड सिक्योरिटी एक पुअर कंडीशन में है. यूके में प्राइसेस सोर हो रहे हैं, पैंडेमिक चल रहा है, तो प्राइसेस सोर हो रहे हैं, लेकिन डीरेगुलेशन उसका आंसर नहीं है. ऐसा बोला था ऑथर ने. इंटरकनेक्टेड तो ये बिल्कुल है. ओके, ऑप्शन सी. व्हेन आई सी ऑप्शन सी सेज द लार्जर द एनिमल फैक्ट्री द लोअर इट्स. देखो, एनिमल फैक्ट्री इज इंटरकनेक्टेड टू हाइजीन स्टैंडर्ड, बट दैट डज नॉट मीन जितनी वो लार्ज बनती जाएगी उतना ही स्टैंडर्ड घटता जाएगा. इन यूके पॉसिबली अ लार्जर एनिमल फैक्ट्री कैन स्टिल हैव गुड स्टैंडर्ड्स, बट दैट्स नॉट द केस विथ यूएस. यूएस में large animal factories do not have any standard, but everywhere we can't say that. B says no country except UK has animal welfare standards. Some may have, but the best is in UK right now. This is too extreme. We can't say that. Okay? Vinayak, did you get it? Import हमारे कंट्री में लाना, एक्सपोर्ट हमारे कंट्री से बाहर भेजना. ओके अक्षय, डिड यू गेट इट? कुसुमा? Okay, next question. All of the following can be inferred from the passage except which one? मतलब which cannot be inferred? Easy है. C, B, B. Which of the following cannot be inferred? The current hygiene standard of smaller European farms are satisfactory. Do you know anything about smaller European farms, or do you know anything about smaller UK farms? The correct answer, a lot of you have guessed it correctly. It has to be a B. A lot of you marked C that said the British government is likely to renege on some of its election promises. What is renege? Is to go back. वो ऐसा कर सकते हैं, they can go back on some of the promises. ठीक है? C. क्यों बच्चे? विजया? D. Cannot be inferred. Brexit might result in an increase in the threat on environmental damage. Yes, because उनके see, understand, Brexit में mention था. I'll explain every option. Let's check out D first. Brexit, A can be inferred, C can be inferred, D can be inferred. B cannot be inferred. D says Brexit. You had promised, the governance had promised to the citizens that they're going to protect the animals. They are actually failing now. This promise is being violated. So after the Brexit happens, it might result in an increased threat on environmental damage because their animals are not being protected. The rights are being taken away. So this might lead to environmental damage. Yes, this can be inferred. C says the British government is likely to change on some of its election promises. इलेक्शन में क्या प्रॉमिस किया था? हम अपने एनिमल्स को प्रोटेक्ट करेंगे. क्या ब्रेक्सिट में किए हुए प्रोमिसेस गवर्नमेंट वापस ले रही है? क्या गवर्नमेंट उनमें फेल हो रही है? बिल्कुल फेल हो रही है. देयर वाज आई विल शो यू द लाइन अगेन. फिर से देखो. आई आस्क्ड यू टू इन्फर दैट. हियर यू गो. Dilution of hard-won protections against food poisoning and our health effects and increase of risk of environmental damage is not what the majority of Brexit supporters thought. उन supporters को जिन्होंने गवर्नमेंट को वोट किया कि हाँ हमको Brexit चाहिए, उनको क्या चाहिए था कि जब वो वोट करेंगे तो उनके rights protect किए जाएंगे animals के. But that's not what they are doing. They were told this is going to happen. That is not happening. They're double standards. Okay, and let's go back. The current standard of smaller European farms. We don't know anything about smaller European farms. We know about the smaller farms in UK, in US, but all the European farms, we don't know about that. This is something that cannot be inferred from the passage. Britain has a good record of maintaining. Yes, Britain has been appreciated for that. US has been criticized. A can be inferred from the passage. Okay, they did not do what was promised. Exactly. Next question. Which of the following is a valid conclusion of the last paragraph of the passage? I'll take you back to the last paragraph. Here you go. Here you go. जल्दी से पढ़ लो. Question. You've discussed this deregulation line so many times. Answer. A. So many answers. A, C, A. Some of, just a minute. C, some of you had marked C. The pandemic and the resultant increase in poverty was unexpected and not planned. Is the last paragraph focusing on non-planning of increasing poverty? That's not the conclusion of the passage. The entire last paragraph was given to give you a closure that hard-won protections for humans and livestock are under threat because of the Brexit and the UK governance not following these norms, and we need to continue to fight to protect them. Prakash, I'll show you the paragraph again. फिर से देखते हैं प्रॉब्लम क्या है. प्राइस राइस हो गया है. लास्ट पैराग्राफ बोल रहा है प्राइस राइस हो गया है, सबको डर लग रहा है, लेकिन डीरेगुलेशन उस प्राइस राइस को कंट्रोल करने का सोल्यूशन नहीं है. यू हैव टू कीप फाइटिंग. चाहे प्राइस बढ़े, डीरेगुलेशन नहीं करना है, लॉज नहीं हटाने हैं, लड़ते रहो एनिमल्स के राइट के लिए, ह्यूमंस की नीड्स के लिए, जो कि वैल्यू बेस्ड हो. एक एनिमल को डिफीट करके आप कभी भी सुपीरियर नहीं हो सकते. लड़ते रहो उन राइट्स के लिए. डीरेगुलेशन इज नॉट द आंसर. आया समझ में प्रकाश? यस. आया सिमरेला? एब्सोल्युटली राम, बिल्कुल करेक्ट. तो ये था इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर. एंड द लास्ट क्वेश्चन, बोन ऑफ कंटेंशन का मीनिंग क्या है? The apple of one's eye at the grassroots, the apple of discord, or Pandora's box? Easy. Discord is disagreement. Contention is disagreement. When you have a dispute, disagreement, discord, all of these are leading us to only one answer, and that has to be a C. The apple of discord is an issue that you're debating about, that you're fighting about, this disagreement about it. That is the bone of contention. जिसके लिए लड़ाई हो रही है सारी. The apple of discord. तो अब हमने क्या सीखा? सीखने से पहले बताती हूँ, before I wind up the class, मेरे suggestions देखो. Of course, there's this test series that you can enroll yourself for. ठीक है? और let me tell you what you can do. Wait. Okay, now of course RC is not merely mindlessly reading a passage. You have to read it carefully if you need to mark the inferential answers correctly. After the class ends today, please solve 5 passages right away tonight. It should take you half an hour. Solve 5 passages. Apply the technique of reading between the lines. Please try to infer then and there. You should not go back to the passage for finding inferential answers. Use the tricks that I taught you today. एक लाइन का और क्या मतलब हो सकता है, hand to hand सोचो. This is certainly not time consuming. You just need to be practicing a little. 5 passages today, 5 passages tomorrow. If you are done with the 10 passages, just reply to my video under the video with a yes ma'am, 10 passages done. I'll be sharing the link with you with the document that has those 10 passages. Make sure you reply to the video under my video in the comment section, not in the chat box right now. Make sure you do not leave the class without hitting the like button. People who are watching the class live in the app, please rate me a 5 if you've not done that yet. And this is the list of our upcoming sessions. I think I need to move a little so that, no, I'm going to move this side. So you can see the schedule. Okay, 9 p.m. That's the schedule for the upcoming week. Make sure you watch that. बिल्कुल PDF प्रोवाइड कर दूंगी. उसके लिए नीचे कमेंट करना पड़ेगा. गिव एंड टेक है, देखो ऐसे फ्री में नहीं होता है काम. Yugansh, what is the reason? Do you read like I taught you to? If you still have not been reading that way, make sure you start practicing that. Do not forget to join us live on our CLAT 2023's analysis on December 18th. दिल्ली में सेंटर आएगा, मेरे पास सेंटर पड़ेगा, मेरा दिल्ली में सेंटर आना चाहिए. मैंने दिल्ली का फॉर्म फिल किया है, आ जाएगा. If you see me, come and say hi. I should boost your confidence there, and you can enroll yourself for the test series. अभी भी टाइम है, जल्दी से enroll कर लो. Please like the video, share the video with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, download app on Google Play. Every link is there under my video in the description box. Work really, really, really hard. We have only a few days to go. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone. But don't sleep before you do 5 passages. Bye, everyone. Work really hard. All the best.